Please, men and women, be humble towards each other. I mean your partner, and towards one another. I mean people. Sometimes your innocent child can be hurt by your enemy or heartless husband just to punish you and make you feel pain. A man can genuinely ask you out for a relationship, but because he is poor, you turn him down. And once this man makes money and comes back to you, yet you accept him, do you think that this man is going to love you for real, or you're going to love him for real as well? And once the money runs dry or runs out, you abandon him and look for another wealthy man. Please, women, if you don't love a man, don't accept him because of his money. And equally to the men as well. Remember that your children are going to inherit the trait, character, or characteristics of your partner you choose. I have seen cases where children are being hated, rejected, ignored, and abandoned by their own biological parent just because they look like their partners they didn't love but accepted because of conditions, most often money. The man or woman that you have chosen to have kids with, be rest assured that your kids are definitely going to look like him or her. You can admire or desire your kids to be as rich as him or her. Do you equally desire your kids to resemble or look like him physically or behaviorally? Let me recount this to you. When I was still running a church ministry back in Africa, there is always the end of year prayer request that members will write on pieces or sheets of papers to be intervened or interceded for. Just as we are approaching the new year 2025, many people, most especially Christians, will write unrealistic and unrealizable requests for the pastors to intercede on their behalf. Some women's prayer requests were for their unborn or yet to be born children, not to resemble their fathers physically and behaviorally, and some were even pregnant. And when I checked on some of these women, more than 90% of them were married to wealthy people, directors and directors' sons, ministers and ministers' sons. Can you imagine that? Sometimes these children suffer the consequences of their parents' wrong choices of partners. They turn to be hated for no reason, just because they look like either of their parent. Sometimes this treatment are subconscious. The parents are not even aware of what is happening. That is the reason they despise their kids and treat them with contempt and malice. Another instance is getting married or having kids with your slave master. Do you think he or she is going to love you even after getting married or having kids with him? Come on, man, don't be fooled, my dear beloved. Remember that the slave masters of our ancestors had kids with them, yet were still slaves. And also, please, men and women, stop using your kids as a medium to hurt the man or the woman. These kids are innocent, for crying out loud. Don't be greedy, egocentric, self-centered, or egoistic in a relationship or marriage at the expense of your kids. I know of a situation where the woman will prevent the child from seeing or talking with the father, saying all kind of evil things against him to the child, just because her interests were at stake. Maybe the man refused to marry her, or maybe the man cheated on her. She would now use the kids as weapons against the man. Please, women, you are not only frustrating the man, also you are frustrating your children, because in the end of the day, they will grow in a broken home and be groomed by a single parent, and you know the consequences afterward. Why am I saying all of this? There is this recent happening where a man was rejected by his girlfriend or wife he had a 3-year-old child with. She left her husband for another man because the husband went broke. This husband had sponsored this woman right up to tertiary education until the woman acquired a well-paid job and was earning a reasonable salary. She suddenly forsook this man for a newfound boyfriend. This man became frustrated and confused. They still had joint custody over the child. The man also found a lady that could accept his condition at that time, and this child he had with his ex-wife would come over and spend some days with them, most especially weekends or holidays, and later return to the mother. On a fateful weekend, this child went there to visit the father and spent the weekend and could not return to the mother as always. And the next day was Monday. The child needed to go to school. The mother withered and didn't see the child. She now went to the ex-husband's house record-breaking Monday to find out what happened. The child did not return to her as usual. Behold, and to her greatest dismay, she found the child lifeless, slaughtered and blood everywhere. The father was nowhere to be found, neither the girlfriend. All she could find was a written note from the ex-husband recounting how the woman betrayed him and his love for her after he made her what she is today. All she could pay him back was to betray him. That's why he had to unalive the only child they had together in order to hurt the mother. My question now is, the mother the only person that owns a child, or the child? Please let me see your response to this question in the comment section. That's how it all ended. Up till date, I don't have any update concerning the situation and what happened afterward, if the man was later on caught or not. Some presumed that the ex-husband's girlfriend surely gingered and orchestrated the man to do so, because both of them escaped and fled away. I equally know of cases where the white father will murder the child he has with a black woman just to put her in pain or to cause her pain, and also because of the he has for the black race. And remember, any child a white person, be it a woman or a man, has with a black person, that child is 100% black. Having sex or children are all additions or complements to marriage. They are not yardsticks or measurement or measuring rods for love or marriage. Please, beloved, marry who looks like you, thinks like you, speaks like you, views like you, perceives like you, reasons like you in color, beliefs and culture. Many people have gotten married to their enemies because they failed to ascertain or evaluate all of these criteria. That's why you find lots of domestic marital violence, annihilation of lives of couples by their partners, children's domestic abuse and lack of proper parenting and love. Otherwise, instead of the dog to wag its tail, the tail ends up wagging the dog. Please remember, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 39 says, pursue marriage with those who share the same faith with you and walk in holiness. Thank you very much. Ignorance is not an excuse. Forewarned is forearmed. Goodbye for now.